Hello, hello. How is everybody today? I am just doing the last little tiny bit of getting set up and ready to go. I'm gonna go there. That'll go there. That'll go there. I'm just hi bohemian girl, hi free spirit. Oh, it's midnight there. I never know what time it is anywhere. I always think about it. I always do the let's think about where everybody else is, and then it's like I realize that it's not going to make a difference to what works for me. So it's like stuck with that. And yes, Shayla says thank you. She has got the most amazing ears. We can't take her anywhere without somebody. Oh my God, her ears are so gorgeous. She is just a really pretty dog. She's just not very I don't want to say she just doesn't like when we start pointing the camera at her and whatever, she just starts getting stuck in her head and doesn't like it. So Bruno's everybody's little sweetheart, but she's actually, when you're being honest, I don't know if that's not, I'm saying it in some way as if there's some bombshell ready to drop. She is by far the prettier of the two dogs because she's got this really cute little face and then those big giant Mickey Mouse ears. But Bruno, he's everybody's sweetheart. So they both win. Oh, that is so wet. I sat down yesterday. Hi, Moira. I sat down. Oh, that's something. I sat down yesterday, made myself a coffee, sat down. I got up in the morning. I was like, okay, I'm going to get up, have a shower, go sit down. Made myself a coffee and had my coffee sitting on my... Oh, yeah, the doggy photo was clickbait. Absolutely. She's a complete diva. She's my little princess. And she thinks she's a princess, and there's nothing you can do about it. Hi, baby girl. How you doing? She is super cuddly and super, super friendly. She's just, for some reason, Bruno is like, Bruno has created an association with the camera, so he's our camera hog puppy. But Shayla's got her own thing going on, and she's gorgeous. So, and she's a princess, and she thinks she runs the house. And I was sitting there yesterday minding my own business, drinking a cup of coffee. I had put the coffee up on the corner of the mouse pad just because, right? And then I picked the coffee up, tapped it against the corner of my computer, spilled the coffee all over the mouse pad. You ever do that thing? It's like you complete the motion and realize what you've done. Tap the corner of the mouse pad, spilled a big blob of coffee on that all the way across. Because I sit over there like on the couch, right? Spilled it all over the mouse pad, all across my lap, all up my chest to my mouth. So my mouse pad is still. I washed it. I had to wash it properly. I had to wash it properly is what happened. No, nothing wrong with that, but I had to wash it properly so it's still damp. Because you don't just do that when you literally like poured a cup of coffee. So I'm not using a mouse pad. I didn't really notice until just now. I'll be right back. I can't entertain you with ended. Yeah, Bruno is the mascot. Bruno is what the hell is going on? That is super bright. What changed? And now it's darkening. I'm not touching anything. I am not touching anything. It's the way, obviously, me sitting here or not sitting here. I cannot entertain you with an endless stream of burping if I'm not drinking a pop. So I'm going to get that out. But anyway, so I am working today. I am working. I have work to do. That's inside out. I'm doing little. I've had these kicking around for a while now. And I'm going to get the cameras going just so that we have something to watch. No, wait, that goes there. There. Is that right? That should be right. Anyway, no, we're just hanging out. We're just hanging out and chatting today. One quick housekeeping thing. I'm doing another FAFO video. This might be exciting for some of you guys, so I'll do it first. First order of business is I'm doing a FAFO video. What I'm doing Let me just, what I'm doing is I dug out my brother. This is a Brother H330313010. This is a great this is a great little machine. I'm gonna just imagine this incessant drum roll while I over explain the shit out of what I'm not doing today. I'm gonna do a FAFO video, and what I'm gonna do is because this is a budget, this is a budget lower end machine. It's still a good machine. It's still got a lot going on. This over here is not a budget low end machine. I'm going to FAFO a sewing machine. We are going to do a thing. Every time I'm sewing, people are like, "Oh, I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid that if I do this, this is what's going to happen." So what we're going to do is we're going to FAFO a sewing machine. I'm going to do wrong stuff on purpose. I'm not doing it today. I'm just giving you guys fair warning. So I'm going to FAFO the Brother 3010 so that we can see what some of the more common mistakes look and sound like, what to do about them, what not to do, because the reason for the big because on this, like it's like driving a car. You drive a car, there's a chance, you drive a car, you do something very, very normal, like driving your car, you hit a pothole, something can happen, you need to take your car in for repairs, right? Same thing can happen with a sewing machine. Regular, normal stuff that can happen can, for good or for bad, end up causing damage to the machine. So if I'm going to intentionally abuse a machine for the internet, I really don't want to do that to one of my more expensive machines. So this is probably, depending on what I get going on, this guy's been sitting in storage for it's almost new. I've only used this machine a few times. It's covered in dust. But yeah, so we're going to intentionally abuse this machine so that because I know that every time I do a video, there's always somebody, not meant in the insulting tone, but there's like, oh, I'm afraid to do this because of that. So I'm going to intentionally break needles. I'm going to bend a needle and show you guys what can happen. I'm going to put the bobbin in backwards. I'm going to thread it so that the threads are not in properly. And that way we can make the mistakes, see what they look like, see what they sound like, and just go through some of the stuff, go through some things. And that way, if I do end up royally screwing it up and damaging the machine, I'm going to be less bothered by this. Yeah, it's going to be totally wild. And if you guys know, so anybody who shows up for this one, if you do this bad thing will happen. That's going to be your opportunity to tell me about it and say, hey, if you do this bad thing will happen. Okay, let's do it. Right. And I'm going to pick, hi, Vintage Peony. So I'm over explaining it because the very first thing I have to do, Lisa and I have to sit down and work with this, because what I want to be able to do is like get in here, get the camera in here properly, right? So that when the thing happens, you guys can see exactly what's happening, because from my perspective, I'm getting a really good view of here, but the minute you plug in the machine, I'm going to cover the light. I'm going to cover when you come over here, see the glare? I'm going to either cover or remove the light. So yeah, so we are going to FAFO this machine, do all the wrong things on purpose, and just show you guys what, and it's not even going to be what to do and what not to do. It's going to be like showing you guys what to look for and give you guys ideas on how to fix it, how to work around it. But we're also going to I'm going to start off, like if I were taking this out of the box, what would I do? So we'll also show how to thread the machine, because we're going to, like, you guys know me. When I show up on these lives, I'm here for a couple hours. So we'll thread the machine. We'll do a bobbin, thread the machine, and then start fucking around intentionally, just so that you guys can get an idea, and getting an idea of what that looks and feels like on a less expensive machine. Because when you're seeing this over here on this machine, I can fuck up. Like, look at this. I just open that and there's my works. I don't have to do anything special to dig into it. Same here. There's just a button, pops it right up. Oh, we're not doing it today, Vincent. We're not faffooing the machine today because the first priority, the only thing stopping me is that I have to get. I want to make sure that I've got the camera on the laptop. Yeah, I haven't touched the machine in over 15 years. I'll tell you right now, the first time I touched a machine, because I had the same problem. Like when I started up sewing again, I hadn't had a sew. I was all no. This is good news though. I want everybody to have some fair warning. There will be a proper title. Let's faffle this sewing machine. But the thing is I want to make sure that the cameras are set up properly. Because even this, like I said, look at the glare. You're only like if I can get in here. Let me see. But like look at the so of course it's gonna after all the problems I have been having with focusing, this is the time that it says beautiful. But I want to get like multiple cameras set up so that you guys can see exactly what's going on. Yeah, I used to sew for my kids and they didn't care about my fuck ups. Exactly. I think, well, what happens right now is that like this machine, this Janome Skyline S6 cost me $3,000. Sewing machines are expensive. Good machines are really expensive. Yeah. It's all for the sewing noobs. Because for starters, like the first machines that I used had metal bobbins that instead of popping in here, there was like a slot and they popped in here. They're completely different now. So yeah, showing you guys all the fuck ups. This is why I won't intentionally. Okay, I've broken needles on this machine. I've absolutely broken needles on this machine. I'm not going to do it on purpose. This machine has got amazingly good light for me right here, but it's not great light for filming. So yeah, I want to use a less expensive machine, and most people that are using a machine are going to start off with less expensive machines themselves anyway. So, and I've had fuck ups happen on this machine, and it's no problem. But the thing is that when there is always a chance. Like I fucked up. I had a really bad, this machine back here. Let me see if I can get it on the camera. That machine right there is covered in crap right now. This is a Singer Quantum Stylus 9960. Now, it's also not, okay, actually, here's the story. The reason why I've got that machine there is because I had such a bad knot in that machine that it wrecked the thread cutter in a weird way. But because I was in such a habit of using the thread cutter, every time I would trigger the thread cutter, it would cause such a bad tangle. I would have to open the machine up. And because I couldn't break myself of the habit of clicking that cut button, I had to take the machine in and get it repaired to get the thread cutter fixed. I got that machine to see me sewing machine repairs around here. Say goodbye to your machine for 6 to 8 weeks while they fix it. I got that machine as a backup, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I ended up with that machine. But yeah, that machine, where'd I put it? Over here. The Brother machine, we ended up not really liking it because the motor isn't as heavy duty as I wanted it to be. Yeah, I think I'll get a sick pleasure watching someone else make all my mistakes. I'm not as bad anymore, but I feel truly my machine inside out and how now thanks to trial by error. That's exactly the thing. I was already super confident on that machine, like I said, but I just had one day, one thing went wrong in the one way. And if you are just buying a machine so that you can hobby your way through life, you're not going to want to spend $150, which is what it costs for a basic service. You're not going to want to spend $150 every time you get a tangle that you can't sort out. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm probably, like I said, the first step is, because we've got tech in this house, like we've got various cameras and stuff like that. And we're going to I already chatted with Lisa about it. She thinks it's an amazing idea because that machine's been in storage. I already have 3 other, I have this machine. I have the Singer Quantum Stylus, and then I have another Singer Quantum Stylus because when I had Rose working with me, how long have I been sewing and how I started? I've told this story before. There's not a lot to it. I was doing basic mending and basic stuff way back in the day. I didn't really give a lot of thought. I never did anything super, super exciting. Then for the longest time, I didn't have a machine. And then that's what this one's going to be. Now, what I've got going on right now, I'm just adjusting my lighting. There we go. I like to try, and I just smacked my kneecap right on the corner of this one table. I like to try and get a good balance between lighting for what works for me. And there's no point in me coming on live, doing a bunch of sewing for you guys to enjoy and relax too. I know for a lot of you guys, this is kind of like semi ASMR while I just babble along and you guys are doing your own thing, which is perfectly fine. I always say, you guys don't owe me shit. I don't owe you shit. So yeah, relax, do your own thing. But for those who are watching, I learned to sew doing basic stuff at home. I learned the basics in home ec class, which was a class I managed to, okay. Back, I was old enough that you learn a few basics, a few just generic basics in like 7th and 8th grade. You use a little teeny tiny bit of basics. Then you go into high school. Then you go into high school and start learning a bit more. But no, I just did. Where is it? There it is. I just did what everybody else did. I'm switching out from white to a slightly off beige. Get the camera in here. And then what happened? I didn't have a machine. I didn't have a machine for years and years and years. And it was all hand sewing, right? Hey, Michelle. Yeah, let's go for a walk with you. Michelle's taking us for a walk. I'm switching over to white because even though there's not that much of a difference, but white on multicolor, white on light multicolor. Like, okay, this is for later. White on that is fine, even though it's going to go across the multicolor stuff. But I've noticed personally, and it's all your mileage may vary. Yeah, I failed home ec. I basically just barely passed with a pity pass because I failed the sewing portion consistently and aced the cooking portion. So yeah, I'm going for a generic beige because this has got a lot. This entire stack here is like animal stuff, and it's all in like the earth tones like this. I noticed that sometimes, and again, your mileage may vary, but sometimes if you go white on these types of fabrics, these types of color paths, the white can seem almost like too bright. So I just opted. I've got the variety for a reason. So I've opted to overthink. Anyway, we know I babble, so enjoy the ride. But anyway, no, I just basically I retained enough about sewing, yada yada yada, off and on. Very rarely had a chance to actually get onto a sewing machine, but did know how to do a lot of the stuff by hand. So we actually had we were invited to a LARP, live action role playing game, by a friend, and one of the things is to be in character. And this feels funny. Nope, it's right. Okay. One of the things is to be in character. Come on. So you have to make costumes. So that started. So we got a machine. And that got me a little bit of practice to get me back on. That got me a little bit of practice. That was like 5 or 6 years, 6 or 7 years. It's not really all that long ago. This ended up being super long. Shorten it down so it's not such a pain in the ass. And so that's how I ended up getting a machine again. And then the rest is history. Well, your steps. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Michelle, count your steps. We're sharing them. This is the step pool. Anyway, so yeah. But what it turns out that I suck at is making clothes. Got back into sewing again. Sewing for a LARP is a kind of different thing. So yeah, I just started sewing again. Then Lisa needed a bag, and I'm like, I can make a bag. And she's like, what are you talking about? I hadn't really done, except for the odd bit of hand hemming and whatever, but all needle and thread. Except for that, she didn't really know that I could sew. Got started. It's one of those things. This is how life goes sometimes. What am I doing? I don't know what design to pick. I've been getting lazy and just picking the one design lately. I'm going to pick one design and do all of these in it. I'm just going to stick with the loopy one. It's not real. It's going to be tan. Oh, and this is the back. The back. I'm going to take it back up. That's the back. Nice little flowers. It's kind of in the front. Yes. Thank you for sharing, Michelle. Sharing is caring, isn't it the Care Bear motto? Come on. You're not gonna. We are getting better at, the camera is getting better at focusing. It's a different camera right now. It's better at focusing, but it's still a pain. Oh shit. I'm an idiot. See, these are the mistakes you make. Okay. This is the stuff I'm going to be doing on purpose. If you have a walking foot on, you cannot do decorative stitches because the walking foot wants to move forward and decorative stitches go forward. You can do a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch, and that's about it. If you try to do a decorative stitch, because decorative stitches go forward and then backwards, and stuff like that. If you try and do a decorative stitch on a walking foot, they come out looking really funny. And then after a few minutes, it usually starts tangling up. I used to be really good at hand sewing. So once I got a machine again, once I got my greedy little hands on a machine again, it was a quick transition for me to get back into machine sewing. So I got lucky that way. But now I'll tell you right now, though, now that I'm back to machine sewing, I can't do a ladder stitch to save my life. I can barely manage a blanket stitch. It's like, if I can't do it on a machine, I don't want to do it anymore. Anyway. There. It's not a disaster if you forget to switch back to a regular foot for decorative stitching. Unless you're doing a really complicated design, it's not really that big of a disaster, but you're going to be picking out stitches because it won't look good. A walking machine does not play nice with this stuff. But anyway, I thought I already put the stitch in. This is what happens where I let myself get distracted. Okay, I am going to cheat. I put 2 straight stitches in here. But the reality is that instead of agonizing about it, I'm just going to swing back. But yeah, yeah. It was just kind of a natural progression. But once I started sewing for me instead of for grades, and whatnot, I discovered that I was actually pretty good at it. So, but I used to just do, I really did used to just almost entirely stick with even when I had access to a machine, 99% what I was doing was basic mending and stuff. Because I think unless you get into quilting, which I did not have the knowledge. Fabric's expensive. I didn't have the knowledge or the money to get into quilting. So unless you're into making clothes, most people with a sewing machine are just going to do regular mending, which is absolutely fine. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna faffle a sewing machine. So what we're gonna do what Lisa and I are going to do is we're going to maybe over the weekend or something, we are going to set the machine up where we want it. We even got this. I even pulled this stuff out. This is like a marking tape. It's just a cheap little tape. What it's actually for is not sticking to your glove. I think anybody who's been around for a bit has seen what you can do is like, okay, I need a line to be, I need to go right exactly along that line. That's what it's for. That's what this stuff is for. You can buy it right at any fabric store. This is it's basically washi tape. Washi tape is great for sewing. Washi tape, painter's tape. It's great for sewing because if you're going to mark a line on your machine to follow, the last thing you want to do is have tape residue behind. Unless you are doing something that is so specific that you know you will never want to change it again, do not use sticky tape. Don't use Scotch tape. Don't use anything that use residue behind. Anyway. So we're going to set everything up. We're going to set up various ideas because, okay, I can set up as many cameras as I want. I can set up 1, 2. I can set up 3 cameras directly through my laptop. I can also set up a couple of others if I really want to get schmancy, and we're not going to get that schmancy. But if I want, what I'm going to do, get the lighting going, the cameras going, so that you guys can see as many angles as possible. Get a really good view at what you want. I don't think it's going to be super crazy exciting, but I think anybody who's been like nervous about whatever is going to really enjoy. It'll be a bit of a tutorial. We'll go through the paces of setting up a machine, doing some basic sewing, and then doing some basic fucking around and finding out. We'll FAFO. Anyway, that's the only upcoming thing. That's the only thing that's upcoming. And then after that, I've got a couple of other projects that I want to work on that I'll probably be doing on camera. Other than that, today I'm just hanging out getting these done. Today everything is in white. Today it's do everything in white day. I've got like 12 of these to do. And then I'm going on to drawstring bags. But the drawstring bags I've got are so pale. The fabrics are so light. The fabrics themselves are so light. I know you're just seeing the back of it, but the fabrics themselves are so light that if I see there, you can see the fabrics are so light that if I use a black, if I use my standard black liner, it's just going to make the outer fabric look dull. Nah, I'm actually pretty well organized these days. The only thing about the FAFO sewing machine project is it doesn't make a lot of sense. Are those bags or cloths? These are reading cloths. These little guys are reading cloths. Oh, this here, that's going to be a standard. That's going to be a standard bag. I've just got them basted and ready to go because it's easier. If you're doing large numbers of something for yourself, it's easier to organize it by color. All of those over there are lighter colored materials that are going to look like crap. If I use, most of you guys have seen the bags. They got the black lining. Those fabrics that I've got right now are going to look like crap if I use anything other than white lining. So then I know I'm going to be using paler, lighter colors. I'm probably going to top stitch all of it in either. Well, I think I'm going to top stitch all of that in white. And I just absentmindedly cut the fabric back up. Down we go, up we go. There we go. I just made sure the needle went back in the same spot 2 or 3 times to so that I don't have to backstitch at a corner. I don't like backstitching at corners because it can make the corner really stiff. So I just put it right. I put it right back in. What I did was I accidentally cut the fabric. So what I did is I found the spot. I found the spot that was 2 or 3 stitches back. Sewed into that 2 or 3 times to get it all locked up. If you have a previous stitch and you sew into it, it locks the stitches so they don't come out. Blah blah blah. And then just start it over from the corner. But anyway, other than that. I got woken up early by my crows because I dared to clean the balcony last night. Just look at, they get over there, we don't hang out on the balcony. So they get like over there and they get pooping and doing whatever they're doing. So it was like, okay, I clean the balcony, but I don't clean the balcony. But it's like, every once in a while I go out there and give it a really good scrub down, so that I don't have to worry about it getting nasty or stinky or whatever. So I cleaned everything. So then, because I cleaned everything, the table was all cleaned off, because what they'll do is they'll come by in the morning. They'll come by in the morning, and then whatever happens to be on the table, they'll pick at any leftovers that they didn't get to from the night before. So they show up this morning and everything's clean, and there's no leftovers laying out for them to peck at. Nothing looks the same. So they're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And they were just a shout. I should have turned on a camera, because they were just a shouting and a hollering and losing their bloody minds until I got out there and took them out some fresh water and some food. But that's about the most exciting update in my world right now. The crows are happy and their area is clean now. Okay, which corner was that? Yeah, this corner. I'm not using the stitch ripper because I don't want to actually tear anything. I just want to make sure that everything's trimmed down. So I'm just kind of like, I'm just taking the tip of the tweezers. That's one of the reasons why, and just going over this lightly, because any of the loose threads from that spot happening is gonna pop up, and then I can get to them. See, there's that. Well, that's not bad. See, the light is weird. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing all the lighting, we're doing all the things. That's about it. I still have not picked a topic for Friday. I don't know what that's going to look like. Haven't decided. Well, no, wait. I thought we did decide on a topic for Friday. Did we not pick a topic? Now I'm second guessing. Hey, thanks. I'm second guessing. Did we or did we not pick a topic on Friday? For this the weekly paranormal topic, did we pick one yet? I'll double check the community tab later and grab whatever's next on that one. We'll go from there. These guys are little, so I didn't leave as big of a hole for turning, which I'm kind of a little, sometimes I regret that. But yeah, so what else is new with you guys? I started a new Baldur's Gate 3 campaign. I finally finished my old one. So that was nice. When I'm doing the little cloths like this, I always try to go all the way to the corner before I start, because it can be a pain in the butt folding out those little corners at the end. They can get really fiddly. Oh Christ, Omicron. Yeah, we had that back in January. I swear to God. I mean, we got lucky. We got lucky. UFOs. We can do UFOs. There's, you know what? There's so much stuff on UFOs. We can 100%. We can 100% do UFOs. Our last one where we touched on UFOs was this kind of was. We were mostly just talking about whether or not, you know, we were talking about the more practical, whether or not there's life on other planets and that sort of stuff. We didn't dive deep into any particular cases. And I would love to talk about some very specific cases, like some of the UFO videos that are released and stuff. Absolutely do that. But yeah, Lisa and I, we're pretty sure it was Omicron. We had that back in January. That's what started my pop addiction. You know how when you get a touch of a bug and everything just is gummy, you're like, nah, 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 right? The only thing that tasted good or like it was breaking up that gummy was pop. And of course, I was so fuzzy and tired all the time. The only thing that helped me stay awake was caffeinated. I went crazy on that shit. I'm still getting over the pop. Yeah, hope you're feeling lots of fluids, lots of sleep. Lots of fluids, lots of sleep. And don't be afraid to do whatever you've got to do to be comfortable. I've talked to a couple of people who are like, I don't know how to describe this. Like you get a common cold and it's like, oh, tough it out. It's going to be gone in a few days anyway. But Omicron, it's gone in a few days anyway. But if you try and tough it out, it tries to linger. If you try to tough it out and push through it and pretend it's not existing, it lingers in a way that a regular cold just doesn't. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, UFOs would be a really cool one because there's so much stuff out there. There's so much stuff and thoughts and ideas. Like alien abductions is its own thing. Just the concept of life on other planets is its own thing. Alien abductions is its own thing. And a UFO is an unidentified flying object. There is the idea that these are coming from secret bases on Earth and they're not actually from outer space, or a combination of both. That's its own thing. There's so much. There is just so much to talk about. Oh, Bohemian Girls at work. I'm at work. I'm working. Ish. Yeah, let's do UFOs again. So what about UFOs do we want to get into? You know what? I want to get into David Grush. I keep slipping into sleep and then waking up because I'm shaking so much from being cold. Even though my temperature is through the roof, it makes no sense. When your body temperature is high, then the ambient air temperature seems really cold by comparison. So yeah, it's crappy, but no, let yourself sleep. When Lisa and I were going through it, we were sleeping easily 12, 14 hours a day. And it's like, whatever, getting better is more important than getting shit done. So take that stuff off now. Yeah, Lisa and I actually got lucky. We were just mostly, we were really uncomfortable. Lisa got it worse than I did. She completely lost her voice. I had a bit of a sore throat and I was uncomfortable for a few days and then started getting better. I had this weird postnasal drip that hung around forever and then cleared up just in time for seasonal allergies to start. But Yeah, make sure you take care of yourself. A friend of mine just had a run in with it, and she was sick for a good couple of weeks. But the variants, there's a new variant like every 5 minutes. So I'm just glad that the really bad ones are no longer really around. Yeah, today's colds and things are so much worse than we were kids. You know what else happened? I was reading an article on this, and of course there's nothing that can be done about it. But because of the lockdowns, now this leads into some conspiracy theories. So I'm not talking about the conspiracy theories. I'm talking about some actual research that happened. Because of the lockdowns, we got this huge break. Okay, like how do I start? How do I say it? Okay, COVID and stuff like that. They've now realized that as the different flavors of it swing through, you could pick it up multiple times because it mutates, turns into something else, and then gets you sick all over again. The flu and the common cold do the same thing. So what happened was, because everybody was locked down, we weren't being exposed to this, so we lost. Not only did we lose our there's a generalized immunity that once you've had the flu, future flus aren't going to be as bad and stuff like that, right? So we lost that. We lost that level we lost a lot of our resistance to those things because we were just simply not exposed to them. And depending on how COVID hit your area, you're working from home, socially distancing, masking everywhere you go for some of us, yeah. It basically the side effect of the lockdowns was to weaken our immune system to other illnesses. It was an unintended side effect. And of course, the conspiracy theories are, oh, the government did this on purpose and all this stuff. Yeah, home remedies don't make a dent. You just have to lay around the brink of death until it works itself out of your system. Yeah, and this is happening over the common cold. So basically, all the lockdowns affected our immunity to other things because you're exposed. Like, okay, if you've got kids in school, you're exposed to the common cold in small doses pretty much constantly. So when you turn up with a cold, it's not going to be as bad. And now people are getting a common cold and getting like really sick from it. And it's kind of, a lot of people are like, in hindsight, I guess we should have recognized that was going to happen. But yeah, it's turned out to be not so fun side effect. A not so fun side effect that stuff that we are normally exposed to on an almost daily basis, we're now not being. We've spent 3+ years not being exposed to it all. So that hasn't been fun. And I don't know if it's our immune systems are weaker, but we're just not using them, right? Use it or lose it. So, and then there's long COVID. Then there's the long-term effects of adding a new, because the common cold is a coronavirus, and so is the flu. It's basically a new, adding a brand new illness to the mix, and then giving us a break from the stuff we're already used to. This is kind of like the same thing. It's a shitty comparison, but you got to bear with me. This is that same comparison to say that when the colonists first came over here, entire native tribes were wiped out because of the diseases that we brought with us, because they had no natural immunity, and we've lost some of our natural immunity to things that we're used to, and it sucks. And they're currently doing, I guess, I read some articles about it anyway, saying that, yeah, but it's yay, welcome to the new reality, right? But considering some of the things that we've had to deal with as a species, like what if it was a disease like the Black Plague being spread as easily as COVID was? And I think that's what started a lot of this. That's what people were afraid it was going to mutate into. So I wish there had been a better way to deal with it, but we had to do what we, everybody, they had to do what they could with what they had, I guess is the best way to look at it. And then it's too late to piss and moan about it now. But I've personally found that whenever I pick up a bug, I go crazy on the vitamin C, but I also go crazy on, I also start taking I don't take a multivitamin every single day, but if I'm sick, I will take lots and lots of vitamins, drink lots and lots of juice. Yeah. Yeah, I still mask at indoor public spaces. Husband is immunocompromised, and I'm sure that at this point, if I catch a cold, I'll feel like I'm dying. Well, what happened with me was we were going swimming. We were going swimming regularly. Well, I have what's called chronic sinusitis. This is basically damaged sinuses from having one too many sinus infections as a kid growing up. I used to smoke, which didn't do myself any favors. So I am sensitive. I am sensitive to irritation. I don't know how to express it. Anyway, we were going to the public pool regularly, and it was fine. And then just kind of all of a sudden, we would go swimming, and then we would go swimming, and then I'd come home and I'd be not feeling well the next day. I have a touch of a sinus, something happening. So then we take a few days off from the pool, go back to the pool, I'm sick again. Go back to the pool, I'm sick again. It's like we kind of, fortunately, it never got to anything serious on its own, but it's like, honey, every time we go to the pool, I'm coming home not feeling well the next day with sinus stuff, because you can't swim without getting some of that dirty pool water up your nose. People soup. Hundreds of people swimming on a given day at a public pool, a public indoor pool. So it's like, yeah, I'm being exposed to way too much bacteria just through, and it's not even in the water. It's like, you're in a building, all that air, right? Yeah, chugging back ginger, lemon, apple juice, and vitamin C tablets. That works. Yeah. Oh yeah, the whole COVID thing was like crazy. We got lucky. Lisa and I picked up COVID, but we never got super sick. Stephen never got anything. John has, we picked up COVID, then we picked up Omicron. Actually, we picked up, yeah, we've been sick, but nothing super. Getting a new and improved. Back at my desk, I missed the very beginning of this live. Do I gather you're getting? No. What I'm doing, I'm taking an old machine that I had as I had a long story, but I ended up with a Brother. What's the number on that again? I ended up with a Brother 3010 as a backup machine while I was waiting for a repair. This is back when I still had Rose working with me, so we couldn't be without a machine, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do a FAFO project and make intentional mistakes. Yeah, it's the opposite. I'm going to be doing a FAFO project, get some, we have to set up cameras first to make sure that we're going to get as much as possible. But where I'm going to do the opposite and just do all the wrong things on purpose, just to so that people can see what it looks like, how to deal with it, yada yada yada. Because just like a car, or just like anything, the wrong circumstances at the wrong time, and you're looking at an expensive repair. So I do not want to intentionally fuck with a good machine. So I'm going to intentionally fuck with this poor little Brother machine, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to try to break it, but I'm not going to be concerned because, like I said, basically it's been sitting there gathering dust for like a year and a half now. If if it wasn't so expensive to ship, I would have done a giveaway on it. But it costs more to ship it. It would cost more to ship a machine like that than it is to just go get one. So yeah, we're gonna wreck a machine. But yeah, I used to go swimming regularly. back on track. Oh my God, there's a track and I'm trying to stay on it. We used to go swimming and I started having so many problems. Nothing serious. Nothing serious. It was just, both like I would go swimming and then spend the next couple of days feeling like I was coming down with a cold. We had to stop. We had to stop going because it was just too irritating. Once the weather's nicer, we're probably going to try again with an outdoor pool. But yeah, our natural there's immunity and then there's resistance, I guess. So yeah, natural resistance and/or immunity is just down in general for the whole population. It's getting crazy. Oh, FAFO is fuck around and find out. So yeah, that's people who don't want to swear say FAFO, or people like me say FAFO and then are happy to explain it with full swears. But yeah, so we're gonna FAFO a sewing machine so that I can because every time I'm doing some sewing, there's some and there's questions and comments are absolutely welcome, but going, oh well, Leo, let me break a needle for you to show you what it looks like. It's like there is the chance of causing damage to the machine. That's how come I ended up with that machine, because I had a problem. Well, there's every now and again, for some reason, it doesn't want to cut properly. No biggie. There's that one. So yeah, I'm enlisting Lisa. I'm voluntolding her so that we'll set up everything. We might even do it on a weekend. Because that way, if Lisa's around, if I need to do any adjustments or whatever, and I'm going to be borrowing some of her equipment. Like she's got a really nice camera in the back. I'm pointing as if you guys can see what I'm pointing at. She's got a really nice camera in the back for when she does readings and stuff like that. So getting that up here and getting it hooked in, making sure the lighting is good. I'll probably either, if I can remove the light, I'll remove it. If not, I'll tape it over or something so that we can do all this and you guys can just get a really good look at what's going on. And we'll go from there. But yeah. Doing that. Anyway, let's talk about something that's more fun. Poor Trisha Poor Trisha needs to be cheered up, not doom and gloom about, oh yeah, let's keep getting sicker. It's fine. God, we're horrible people. Eh? It's like I feel bad. It's like so does everybody else. Anyway. Now we're just hanging out. I haven't done a hangout. I haven't done a just hang out with me in a couple of weeks, and it's like I miss you guys. Yeah, poor Trisha. If I start talking slow enough and quiet enough, Trisha's going to fall back to sleep again. It might be a good thing. Maybe we should put Trisha to sleep. I'm so exciting. I make people sleep. Anyway, I am literally just, I'm in BC. We couldn't see it. We could not go look. We could not go see it. I looked up some stuff about it online. Stephen and I got to see I forget what it wasn't a full eclipse. We got to see like a 75 or 85% or something. The one year when it was coming nearby, and that was awesome. I could just imagine you saw the whole thing, right? Oh yeah, we went to Port Bruce to experience totality, and it was magical. That would be so amazing. I don't know when the next one is coming that we could see. Yeah, and I'm from Ontario. I'm like, I missed it, but I guess a lot of Ontario was under cloud, so. Yeah, definitely. What do you guys think of it? Now you have to tell me what you thought of it. Magical is not good enough. Like, when did you start noticing? When did you start noticing the light reducing? I mean, like I said, we got to experience a fairly significant partial eclipse a few years ago, but it kind of snuck up on us, and then it's like, oh, I guess it's getting darker now. There was a lot of guessing. Yeah, Trish is in the southern hemisphere. Yeah, you're not going to see anything in the south unless it, because there's not as much land mass. It literally has to come right over you. I'm from Ontario. It's like, oh man, I should have held out for another 18 years. No. Yeah, I was watching some of the coverage though, and people were like losing their minds. I don't blame them. If I was in the area, I would definitely have been there. Yeah, it sounds like. Yeah, I've been to Port Bruce. I've been to Port Bruce a few times. Lots of good swimming out there. People don't realize that the Great Lakes has. The Great Lakes does not have tides. There's no tidal action in the Great Lakes. Well, actually, there is tidal action in the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes actually do respond to the tides the same way the ocean does. It's just not as obvious and not as it's not as noticeable. But lots of good wave action and lots of nice, great swimming areas. I used to love going down to the lake. We used to go out by We used to go out to Port Stanley. Like when I was a teenager, me and my cousins, we would go like every weekend out to Port Stanley. Go down to Mackey's and get some fish and chips. And yeah, if you're doing this for yourself and you're not confident in doing this as you go, you can always stop and iron it all first. This one here, I marked all of these with a friction pen so I could see it. So I already ironed the friction pen off before I brought it back over. But didn't do anything else. Sorry, I thought I saw my crows coming back. They were so mad at me this morning. You took away the food. This doesn't look the same. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, cool. There was a circle of darkness above us and sunset, sunrise around us. Oh, were you right at the lake? Yeah, that would have made it. If you were right at the lake, that would have made it really easy to see that. There's a video of the from the CN Tower showing this really weird looking shadow moving up the lake from one of the cameras, but it was cloudy day, so there wasn't a lot else to see, but I saw that video. Mackey's orangeade is never as good. You know what? Is the Mackey's sauce still the same though? Because I thought Mackey's was bought out. Like, didn't they close for a few years? Mackey's is one of those beach shack fish and chips place. Well, mostly fish and chips place. You can get burgers and all sorts of. When I was a kid, you went out there, you got their orangeade, you got their fish and chips, or a hot dog and fries, and they had this really cool. They just called it Mackey sauce, and it was just whatever generic sauce that they made. It was an in-house made sauce, kind of a watered down barbecue sauce almost, but yeah, Mackey's in Port Stanley in Ontario in Canada. And I mean, everybody has their Mackey's. Everybody has their really cool, awesome little thing somewhere that everybody gets excited about. But yeah, it was a beachfront beachfront, right on the beach in Port Stanley, Ontario, Canada. And used to be sort of, well, it's still sort of kind of famous. You go down there, you go to Mackey's, you get your food, you go hang out on the beach. Always a lot of fun to go there. Man, I remember going there when I was a kid, and my mom mentioned going there when she was a kid. So Mackey's has been around for a long time. There was another place down there. What was the other place? There was another, then again, there's always places that come and go. So if I ever get back to Ontario for a visit, I'll have to go there. Oh. Time to put a fresh bobbin on. Make sure the dogs can't get sick. Okay, I don't have any bobbins made up. Here, we'll change a bobbin. Bobbins are actually really easy. Once you get the hang of it, bobbins are super easy. Every machine has its own all of the newer machines have built-in guides with little arrows to show you exactly what to do. You put your thread, there's always a hole in the bobbin. You put your thread through the hole, put it on there, push it over for the PTO, the power takeoff. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's always great when those places really last. Oh, Shaw's, isn't that the ice cream place? Isn't that the name of the ice cream place? We used to go down to this one ice cream place on the way to or from. Yeah, Shaw's Ice Cream, right? Shaw's was a lot of fun. At that time, Shaw's had like, Shaw's had like a Baskin Robbins type variety of ice cream. And it was, just let it go. Hold down the thing, let it go. And it stops. Stops on its own when it's done. There's even my machine, my schmancy machine even has an extra thread cutter up there just for cutting the bobbin. But yeah, you know what? For some reason, remembering the name of the ice cream place, remembering that its name is Shaw's, for some reason I don't know why. I guess maybe out here it's like Shaw Cable. Shaw, you get your TV from your cable from Shaw, your phone from Shaw. Maybe it's just got so many other associations now that it's hard to remember. But yeah, a lot of those places. The thing about a lot of those places is that for the most part they're so old that they would have started off as family-owned businesses. But then when you take a business like that, eventually the family wants to get, eventually there's not enough family who has an interest in staying in the business. And then they sell it to somebody who has no fucking idea what they're doing. That's usually what happens to these things. God, look how messy my house is. It's a mess. One of 100 dog beds laying around somewhere. But that's okay. I can live in a messy house forever as long as it's a clean house. Get a few of those going. Yeah, next time next time there is a solar eclipse that passes, I would love to just like, oh, there's a solar eclipse coming. That's where I'm going on vacation this year, just to go see a total solar eclipse. You can just imagine the next time. I wonder when the next time one is going to hit. Like think of some of the major monuments of the world. Like solar eclipse hits the pyramids. Solar eclipse hits. There was a solar eclipse that was visible from Stonehenge. Didn't it cause like this major uproar? Because so many people wanted to go see it. Was it an eclipse or was it something else? There was a lunar eclipse. I know that caused a thing. Yeah, I want to see a solar eclipse. I want to see it for myself. I've seen a partial. Like I said, I've seen one that was like 85% or whatever it was, but I want to see a full solar eclipse. Go on a major adventure and just go look at it. It's kind of wild too, because you only actually see it for like 4 or 5 minutes top. 4 minutes in something's. Oh yeah, the owl one is nice. I've got a couple of really. I've got an. Here, you guys. Okay, so these are all the same color patterns, right? Here's what I'm doing. I'll show you. This all came from the same. This all came from the same collection. So I got that one. Yep, there we go. That one. Here, let's do that. Oh shit. So I'm talking away. Yeah, the one this whichever camera you have to choose where the sound is going to go. You have to choose where the sound is going to go and turn the sound on that one and then turn the sound off on the other one. It's not okay, who farted? I smell fart. I smell dog fart. Hi puppies. Anyway, yeah, so I have to. I figured out. I still keep doing it because that's what I'm gonna do. But I have two cameras. I have the camera on my laptop going. I have the camera on the a webcam going. But one of them you have to if I let the sound be live on both, that's where all that feedback and echo comes from. So I have to have the sound turned off on one, and if I don't remember to switch them over, then I lose the sound every time I take that camera off. Anyway, I was just saying what it was. I was just saying what I was holding up. So owl with a there's a couple of different ones with dragonflies, couple of different ones with butterflies. That's what I'm doing now, and then I'm gonna switch over. Yeah, owl with with a little bitty dragonfly in the corner. But all the stuff, everything that I held up was inside out. So they're going to be like just more, that's inside. That's still inside out, and then this is when I flipped it around. So, but they're all in the same color. They're all in the same color path there, so you have an idea what they're going to look like when they're flipped. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't always do a lot of these, but these little ones here are really popular for people that are just doing 1 or 2 cards at a time, like a daily draw, or people that have small altar spaces. These are not bags. These are just reading cloths. They are just small reversible cloths. These ones are about the smallest that I go because they go great as altar cloths or to put a couple of stones on or whatever else. A lot of the ones that are this small don't even get used for tarot. They get used for they get used for tarot in a different way. Like people put their crystals on them in a single card or whatever for their daily draws, that sort of stuff. Altar. Now the bags, I've got a whole stack of bags over there that are coming up next. Yeah, mini deck pulls. Yeah, I try to keep a few of them around. I really love when I can find these. These types of things are fairly easy to find, but then you have to sort. It's like kissing frogs, right? You have to sort through until it's like this is people are gonna like this one versus this is just silly. Not silly. Silly is the wrong word, but I do my sewing. There's two ways to sell things on Etsy. You can either make your stuff and then put it for sale, or you can take orders and then you can take the sale and then go make the product. So I have to guess at what people are and aren't going to like. I think I've gotten pretty good at it over the last 5 years, but I still have to guess at what people are and aren't going to like, and then make it, and then see who wants it, and go from there. Oh yeah, these are definitely going into the shop. These are definitely going into the shop. Today's Tuesday. These ones will be done today. They're going into the shop on either Thursday. I try for Thursdays so that I can be consistent, but Friday at the latest. And then these are going in, and then I've got a bunch of these are going in, and then I've got a bunch of bags. Ugh, that's also, this is also going in. You guys aren't gonna see anything that makes sense because you're seeing it all from the like that design. So I've got a bunch of shit that's going in. And once I get it all, I've got to trim it all, then I've got to flip it all. Then I'm gonna then I got to work it all. But yeah, I've got a whole ton all in white that's going in. So this is white's week. This is everything in white. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier if I'm doing stuff in. I'm just hanging on my wall. Oh, thank you. So beautiful. Thank you. These are gorgeous. These are gorgeous little cloths. Yeah, every time I go in when they have something new and these types of things, I try to take a look, see what's what. These are, now that they're flipped, where did it go? I had a measuring tape. Where did it, oh, maybe it's in here. Of course not. I am literally looking for a measuring tape because apparently a ruler is belonging. Yeah, these are about 9 1/4 inches finished. Oh, they're closer to 9 1/2 finished. So these aren't big. These little guys are not big. They're not huge. But they are very popular in their own special way. So I like to keep a selection of them on hand. But you get this as a panel. You get this as a panel with various designs on them. So you kind of have to commit when you're getting them. That's why whenever these little guys show up in the shop, that's why they show up in sets. Yeah, oh, there was something else I was going to mention in passing. What else do we want to talk about today? What else do we want to talk about? There was something. Oh my God, there was something I was going to bring up. Nothing that's earth-shaking. There's something like, oh, I think you guys might like to hear a little bit about this. Lisa's doing really well on her deck, by the way. That's something else that people might want to hear about. She's not necessarily happy with the shipping costs, but she's getting those nailed down and bringing them as low as she can. So that's turning into a thing. There you go. That guy's done. Got his little thing in the corner. This, I think this is a barn owl, but I'm not sure what type of owl it is. Yeah, everybody's really excited for her deck. She's reached, oh my God, she has reached max, I don't know, nervousness, excitability, whatever. It's like, it's that thing. It's always that thing. When something this exciting is happening, then things happen. And I'm not sure. I don't know that she's officially announced it yet. So her deck is coming out. Her deck is I was just gonna say our deck. I think there's a I'm ready to smash and get an early bird bundle. Yeah, she's got early bird set up. I think she's already scheduled she's scheduled a launch party. She's going to schedule a launch party. I think she's going to announce it in advance when her launch party is, because she just really wants to be live. She's going to be live when the deck goes live. I didn't. I always try to hold down the tail. I usually just hold it down over here so that it doesn't get pulled too far in, and I didn't hang on to it tight enough, so it just kind of sucked in a little bit, pulled back out. Even if there's no early bird, still gonna. She's definitely doing an early bird. 20th, yeah, the 20th. So she's doing a launch party. The Kickstarter launches on the 20th, and I believe don't quote me on this. Ask her, reach out later and I'll get the exact time. But as far as I'm aware, the launch party, she's going live at 9:00 on the 20th, and that's when the Kickstarter is going live. But yeah, she's definitely doing some early birds. I'm not sure how many. I don't want to say how many she is or isn't doing. I have this really weird, the Earth Ponies. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is her deck. This is her in a deck. But yeah, I don't want to make any promises. I have this really strong aversion to making promises I can't keep. So yeah, it's going to be the April the 20th, and there's definitely going to be early birds available. And I'm not sure, I cannot remember. She told me, and then I can't remember. It just went in one ear, in one brain cell, it immediately died from shock. I don't know. But the early birds will be going live at the same time. She's going live at the same time the Kickstarter goes live, I think. And that's when the early birds will go live. She's going to give more information on that. She's going to be very clear on how that's going to work for people that are really looking for those early bird discounts. So that information will be there. Yeah, it's on a weekend. She picked the date based on other deadlines and then realized it was a weekend. Yeah, we're going to be, I'm letting her just do her magic. Yeah, 9 or 10. Okay. You know more than I do right now. I knew that she was planning on going. She's dragging my ass out of bed for it. She is making me get out of bed. I am going to be just sitting there. But I will sort my shit out. I will sort my shit out and be up for this. But I'm not sure whether I'm not sure. There's going to be a semi-official announcement on the deck that we're making. I'm kind of making the deck. I'm doing the write-ups in my own special way. I know she showed a little bit to her membership. I don't know, but there's going to be some more publicly available stuff on the deck that we're doing, and that one won't be coming out until probably October at the earliest. But no, wait, I think that's already been updated to December. Somewhere there. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. She is gonna be, oh my God, she's gonna be so high energy. Yeah, our deck. Did you guys ever see? I don't think I have anything to show right now, but who has seen some of the previews that she's shown? I just, yeah. The pentacle, not the pentacles, the cups or juice boxes in the deck that we're doing. And the guys from Little Cryptids, still, yep, oh yeah, still 2 versions, abso-fucking-lutely 2 versions. So there's going to be 2 versions. The deck itself is going to be kind of in this size range. It's not going to be exactly this size, but it's going to be a little smaller. The size of the cards, everything that's different. But yeah, that's the next. That is the next project. I don't know how many. Okay, she's got like 4 or 5 ideas that she's already decided she's working on. We did a thing. We did the budget. We did the budgetary thing. In order to make a deck, you have to have a certain amount of money up front, and that's just the reality of how any of this stuff goes. So what we've already done was they sat down and looked at our budget and went, if this deck reaches this minimum goal, then as long as we set aside this much money, then we can bring the next deck to market, right? And so we've already set aside, we've already committed that as long as a certain amount comes in, that the next deck is already not funded. Like I said, there's stuff that you have to pay for up front. Yeah, it's going to be a spicy deck. It's going to be a spicy deck. We've already got a bunch of the stuff done. We sit down and piecemeal, a little bit. You got to be in the right mood, or you're just not going to do it right. But we're definitely sitting down and working on stuff, getting some. What the heck was that? Oh, I didn't let my thing drop all the way. Okay. So yeah, so that part there is. So if everything goes successfully on this deck, then we will be in a position to set aside. And I don't know how to describe this. There's certain things you just need in advance. Like, okay, she went and got make playing cards versions of the decks to get a general idea of what she's looking at, what it's going to feel like, blah blah blah, right? And so that's the kind of money we're setting aside up front to make sure that those little nickel and dimey things are already covered. So we're setting it, as long as this deck, we think this deck is going to be, I think this deck is going to be successful. She's just still, well, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to set aside enough for at least next 2 decks as well. For the getting, there's the costs, and then there's the getting started costs. So that's 2 separate Getting started is one set of costs, and then the costs, once you know how many decks you need, are a different set of costs. Anyway, I'm over explaining it just because I can, because we're just hanging out. Yeah, the spicy deck, some like for 70, we're doing 78 cards. So some on the spicy deck, some cards may end up being more spicy than others, but it's going to be no holds barred. Yeah, I think this deck is, I think this deck is going to be way more successful than she thinks it is. But, you also there's this thing that you do is you don't want to get so, what is the word? Help me with the word, guys. You don't want to get so, I don't know. I don't want to say confident. Confidence is good, right? You don't want to get so hubris. You don't want to get so overconfident that if something goes wrong or it doesn't end up performing the way you want, that you're miserable, hurt, upset, overextended, this sort of thing. So we are pretty confident that it's going to do well, but we're also trying to keep our expectations in check. Still didn't latch onto the actual word that I was thinking of, but I think that, so we're like, yeah, I think it's going to do fine. Okay, now let's not jinx it. So we'll go with that. But yeah, I'm not sure when, start making some more public noise about the other deck that's coming up. And, well, I can tell you guys what the next deck is, because the next deck is really easy. So she's doing Unicorn's Journey Tarot now. And then we're doing the Dragon deck in the fall. And then next year, she's doing a Unicorn's Journey Oracle deck. I don't know if she's mentioned it or not. So it might still, well, okay, it's not a secret that she's doing more than one deck. The idea that it's a Unicorn's Journey Oracle deck as a companion to the Tarot deck, that might still be a bit of a secret, but it's not like there's 400 people hovering here to really, really spoil the surprise. So, if it is a secret, this is the catch-22 of things. Because I'm sitting in the same room while Lisa's doing her content. Yeah, she let slip that the Art Fort has started. Yeah, because I know everything that is happening. I also know, generally speaking, I guess she's not been that open with it yet. She's already started the artwork on it. As far as I know, there's going to be a guidebook. Yeah, there's got to be a guidebook for an oracle. But yeah, so it's now I'm like, she's not going to mind. She's not going to mind me. She's not going to mind or get mad that I've said something. But the is because, yeah, there would be an oracle. She's already working on it. And if everything goes according to plan, it's coming out probably around this time next year. The reason why I'm sorry, let me get back to that. The reason why I'm going is because I know all the things that are planned. I know all the details that are planned. And I do not want to, I guess, break her confidence by mentioning things. Mentioning that there's an oracle deck coming out isn't necessarily a huge. It's exciting, but it's not a huge surprise. But I don't want to mention other things that might be things that are just not. It's not the right time, or she's not ready to mention them. So I don't want to get into that sort of thing, because she's got plenty. She's got plenty of ideas for her next deck, plural. She's also got an idea. She's also recently talked about an idea that she has for her next book. So, which is kind of exciting. Like, now that the book that she's doing, with Llewellyn is well on its way, and there's still a little bit of work to be done, but it's minor now, right? Like some minor edits or whatever. It's like, okay, well, do you have, and then she's like, as I basically said to one day in passing, hi, Kelvin. Can I please ask what I love the owl you're doing and bunny, what they are. Oh, these are mini reading cloths. These are just mini cloths. And hi, Terry. These are mini cloths. These are the ones that people these are the ones that people like for readings with their mini decks or one card pulls, put on their altar, that sort of thing. I basically when I find really good, this comes from a panel where they do little minis all on a whole thing. So when I get them like this, I do them in batches because I don't want to have them partially cut up and laying around. But yeah, I don't want to say too much about what Lisa does or doesn't have going on because I don't want to break her confidence. But I mean, I can honestly say that the topic of what her next book might be about, that's already on the table. I'm not going to say anything more than that because that wouldn't be fair. But she is deep diving into that whole world of becoming a creator, and she's loving it. She's entering stress mode right now. Because now she's waiting, because now the book is well on its way, but it's not out yet. The deck is well on its way, but it's not out yet. So we're going with that, right? But anyway, she just really enjoyed it. You know what it is? Okay. When you're doing something that you really, 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 really enjoy, it doesn't feel like you're working hard. And it really doesn't. Right now, right this minute, she's in a working hard cycle because the deck has to get, but that's temporary. That's short term. And then from there, she moves on to the next thing, right? But yeah, she is just loving it. I mean, when you talk to her about it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just doing the thing. But then again, we also have this, like, I sew and I do this, but I pretty much try to take care of everything else to give her the time to do that. It's the joy of being retired, right? So with me being semi-retired, she doesn't have to run home and worry about how the house is going to get tidied up or who's she had to make dinner the other night because my leg was bugging me, but that's an occasional thing, right? So but with me being semi-retired and what work I am doing is happening from home, our home life is balanced in a way that lets her really deep dive into all this stuff and not worry about it. Like, And I will tell you right now, like when she was doing yoga, when she was a yoga teacher, we had our own yoga studio for a short time. And that was completely different because I also had a full-time job at the time. So it's not about whether or not, I mean, I wanted to support her then too, and I supported her as best I can. But because I had a full-time job, I did most of the cooking. But because I had a full-time job, our ability to share responsibilities, it's really, really hard to explain. Because the thing is like, when you're in a situation where one partner is able to be the stay-at-home partner and take care of the mundane day-to-day things, it does free up the other partner for taking on a greater workload in a way that doesn't cause a lot of stress. But it also depends on what the workload is and what's going on, right? I mean, we would never be doing this so that she could take on a second job so that I could sit my ass at home. That would not work for us either. But because this is what she wants to be doing, it's her passion project, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm home and I can do, instead of doing most of this or some of that and whatever, like, so I do almost all of the cooking, I do all the cleaning, I do all the laundry and whatnot, but it doesn't, that kind of support is a beautiful thing. And I think it's absolutely amazing that we're in a position in life where it's not detrimental to either of us, which is really nice. I do wish I was doing more to get out of the house, but that doesn't suddenly make my leg all better so that I can handle the actual physical requirements of working. I know I could do a sit-down job. Well, then again, doing a sit-down job, if my leg is bugging me and I sit for too long, it's just as painful as if I've been standing for too long, which is where my catch-22 in life came in, right? But this is a lovely social outlet for me, so this is fine. But this is fine. This is nice. I think that's why I've always really enjoyed doing the YouTube thing. Either being around when Lisa's on camera, doing my own little baby channel for fun and shits and giggles, our life circumstances are perfect. It was this perfect storm of everything falling into the right place at the right time to make this doable in a way that doesn't, and she feels really good about it, so do I. So yeah. Yeah, that's just the other thing. But anyway, I did it again. Every now and again, I'm just going to do the thing. That's when I'm going to trim these off properly. This is what happens when you talk while you work. So I'm just going to line up. Hold that. There we go. Oh, free stare at Beard needs to get to bed. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not sure when the next. Okay, you know what? Unless something changes for me, I'm probably going to be sticking almost exclusively with live readings. I mean, with live streams. It's quicker, it's easier, and I don't have to do anything special to set up. So I can just turn the camera on, chat for a while, turn the camera off, get back to work, whatever, and that works for me. But the FAFO, I don't know when we're going to do it. Like I said, we've got to get the cameras out and do all the things. We're gonna talk about UFOs. We're gonna hit UFOs again, but we're gonna start getting. The first time we talked about UFOs, we were kind of just talking about it as a generic topic. We're gonna talk about UFOs, and I think we're gonna talk about the whistleblower David Grush, and we'll go on to some of that because since that came out last year, he has now testified before Congress, and then we'll see what's going on with that. Because the idea that a whistleblower stepped forward and still nobody seems to be taking this seriously is a topic all by itself. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about like the Tic Tac and other. The Tic Tac is kind of infamous. It's a UFO video. So yeah, so we're going to deep dive into a couple of UFO based topics, and that's going to be this week. You've already pre-ordered 2 of Lisa's books? Wow. I'll have to tell her that. I'll have to tell her that, Terry. But no, I think it's interesting. I think it's really, really interesting. And and one thing that we might talk about, I'll be right back. I got to show you guys something. It's not that old, but see, it's taking too long. I'm waddling. Have you guys heard of the Law of Attraction? This book, which is a reprint. Come on, where is it? This is a reprint. Come on, I used to know where, this book was reprinted by Sun Publishing in 1996. Yeah, the original copyright 1915, right there. Original copyright 1915. This is Wallace D. Wattles' Science of Getting Rich, and this book was written. This book was one of the sourced materials that was it called The Secret, which was the Law of Attraction. This book was one of this book created a lot of the ideas that the law of attraction was based on. And we stumbled across that in a bookshop years and years and years ago, right when we were talking about the law of attraction. Yeah, The Secret. So The Secret was not necessarily based completely on this book, but it was based on a lot of this book was a precursor to The Secret. I would have to look it up exactly, but yeah, I would love to talk about the law of attraction as an actual. I would love to discuss the law of attraction in one of our chats. The law of attraction, if I can say it without stuttering, as an actual law that we can learn to use as easily as we use other laws of physics and science and whatever. Yeah, David Grush was the military guy. So we're just going to bounce back and forth. You guys know we're down the rabbit hole the minute I start talking. So I definitely want to cover that in a future video, because that is like the law of attraction is a very interesting topic, and there's actually not hard science, but there's not necessarily hard science, but hard psychology that backs some of that stuff up, and it would be an interesting exploration of a lot of scientific, psychological, and spiritual ideas and how they come together. And that would be a fun one. So the military guy that went before the government and told the world that there were UFOs, that was David Grush. David Grush went before Congress. David Grush was a whistleblower, stepped out, said, I work for the government. This is what I know. This is what's going on. This is the information that I have. He went before Congress with a bunch of other UFO guys who said that who basically had similar stories to tell, including a couple of guys, I believe, and we're gonna deep dive on this, who are still active in the military, who have said yes, there's stuff we're studying now that we are just not talking about. So what I find really interesting about this David Grush guy is that, for the sake of national security, he went to his superiors and asked for permission, and it was granted. This is the stuff that I want to talk about, because he went to his superiors and said, I'm going to do this thing. Can I have your permission? And they said yes. And then he went and did all of this stuff. But when it comes to, yeah, it didn't get nearly as much. It didn't get the hype that it should have gotten. It didn't get any hype. But when you really think about it, it didn't get any hype at all. Oops, let's get this in here. You guys don't want to watch the back of my arm all day. It didn't get any. Okay, that whole thing didn't get any hype at all. As a matter of fact, I think Lisa and I talked about it on one of our Unleashed episodes. It didn't get any hype at all, which makes absolutely no sense. But it's been like about a year since all of this went down, or more. And it's like we're talking about it less than ever before. But here's the interesting thing. Guy works for the government. He's about to disclose something that can be, okay, whistleblower laws do not protect people that are revealing matters of national security. So how did all this happen? What they knew about it. They knew he was going to do it. They didn't stop him. They can stop him by arresting him. National security, revealing military secrets, and nobody's talking about espionage or treason or anything else. That got really weird really fast. And this comes within months of this came very much. I'm not even sure which came first. David Grush talking about his stuff. Right there. What came first? David Grush talking about stuff, or the disclosures? Because Trump signed a bill. Okay, it doesn't really matter who signed it, because Hillary Clinton had also promised to sign the same bill. Hillary Clinton had already promised prior to her run for president that she was going to sign an executive order demanding the exact same thing that Trump signed off on. So the military and government agencies report what they know. They report a whole bunch of stuff. This guy steps forward, and this is a huge national security issue. Whether we agree on whether or not we agree that it should be a national security issue, it currently is considered one, and nobody tried to stop this guy. So looking into what he said, how he said it, who backed him up, yeah, we need to take a really, really good look at this. And I think that we will. On Friday, we'll do that. We can talk about it now and on Friday. I don't really care. Friday is when you guys have my undivided attention, so I can share links, share whatever, and actually deep dive. Right now I'm just repeating shit off the top of my head and hoping that I'm getting it right. You know how that goes. It's funny, we saw a little bit in the news over here, but we're right beside, I'm 30 minutes from the US border, right? I can be, it's almost 4:00 now. I can be in Seattle by 8. So, but it was not a big deal. It was not considered a big deal at all. What little bit of news coverage it got treated it like, you're watching the news and they're going, oh, and in this little cute little side piece that, it was basically a bit of fluff to fill out 30 minutes or 60 minutes of the news show. Nobody focused on it. Nobody. But I think what's interesting is, like I said, Trump signed the executive order that demanded that the military release all of their information on this. But Hillary Clinton had publicly promised to do the same thing. So it was going to happen. It was going to happen no matter which president was sitting in that chair. What I think is really interesting is the fact that nobody's interested. It's like, if the government releases information talking about how the government installs toilet seats, that would have gotten more attention. So it's really interesting. And I do want to talk, not necessarily like this guy in particular, but not exclusively, like just other things regarding it, because it's really fucked up. But I also, you guys ever watched the show called the Y Files? WHY, the Y Files? He's got some really cool stuff, and he puts it together in a narrative story form that's really interesting. And he makes it clear some stuff he believes, some stuff he believes, some stuff he's skeptical about. But he likes to put together content that goes into individual stories and stuff. And his stuff is really good. He put together a little bit of stuff talking about this guy. I'm probably going to rewatch the episode. No, this is a funny thing. This guy was not blown off as crazy. He testified before Congress. A guy testifies before Congress talking about the validity of talking about validating the claim that UFOs are real, and nobody wanted to touch it. Nobody wanted to touch it. Now, in UFO circles, the belief right now, and again, we'll bring this up. We'll talk about this later. In UFO circles, the belief is that he was. This is what he came forward with this because he was told to, because that was his assignment. So even the UFO circles are a little bit skeptical about, a government that has a reputation for silencing people, citing national security laws. Let this guy speak. Why? What was it that the government that has been denying the existence of UFOs for decades lets this guy speak, when at the same time they could be just cite national security and not do anything? What time is it? Going on to 4. Top stitching is really, really nice. Has a really, really nice effect. I just got to find my, there it is. I just go like this, and then I can feel where the stitching stops. But you got to find where you lift your little hole. But yeah, it's like, how is it that some guy is able to go stand before Congress, make all these claims, be backed up by other people? When they interviewed people that he worked with, were saying, no, he knows what he's talking about. Why would all of that happen and nobody's taking it? Nobody's. We should still be talking about this. We should be. Yeah, he wasn't blown off as crazy, but he was just blown off. It was like whatever. And it's like, and like I said, at the same time that they were interviewing him, they were talking to other people who had made similar claims over the years, and the media did not take it seriously at all, and it's really weird. There's so much conspiracy theory stuff that can be wrapped around this one thing. Yeah, everyone thinks he was some sort of a plant. It's like, okay, so basically, I think a lot of people think that he stepped forward to do all of this so that he would be laughed off the floor as crazy, so that people would not take UFO claims seriously. Other people are like, there's two competing theories. Theory 1 is that he was there to provide misinformation and make people less believing. Oh yeah, you're just a government plant. We don't believe you. Obviously, there's no UFOs. The government's just doing this to distract us from what they're doing. And the other theory is that, yes, he was a plant who was there to go, okay, it's time for us to start. You ever heard of the term trickle truth? Trickle truth is where a person, lets out. Kids do it all the time. Did you do that? No. Are you sure? Well, I think I know who did it. Oh, do you know who? So who did it? Well, I'm not sure. Was it you? Well, what if it was? That's trickle truthing, right? Where they let out a little teeny tiny bit at a time. So the general consensus in most UFO circles is that he was a plant. And now the question is, what was the goal? Because this is the first time anybody with an association with the government has gotten away with saying this shit and not been laughed out of the room as crazy. Like, the government has actively participated in destroying people's careers for saying too much. They've been proven to have done it. Oh, national security, this is what's going on, right? So why now? Why are they letting this guy, they gave him permission. It's like, why would you give a high high security clearance, government employee permission to make claims like that when it's like, okay, so you guys let, if you think this guy's crazy, it's like, so you guys let people with severe mental problems get security clearances. What's wrong? You know, yeah, it gets weird. The whole thing about this guy gets really weird really fast because it just makes no sense. It makes no sense, but it also makes no sense. It makes no sense to believe that he's actually a whistleblower. It makes more sense to believe that he was under orders. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to say. These are the claims that you're going to make. And now we got to figure out why. I think, and I can't, I think that I always go, when you apply logic to the situation, it makes sense that yet another crazy person coming forward does nothing to help the government. Allowing him to make claims like this does nothing for national security. Yeah, what do they lose gain by hiding UFO existence? Well, here's the thing. They hiding it, if the truth is going to come out anyway, then they lose a lot by hiding it. I don't know if he's still working for the military. We'll be able to, like I said, Friday is when I have the time. Friday is my committed time where I'm going to go look all this stuff up and see what articles and photos and whatever I can find. But no, I think when you apply Peggy branded logic to the problem, it's like, if UFO, there's absolutely nothing to be gained by giving this guy permission to say anything to anybody. So what do they gain? And the most reasonable thing for them to gain is that the truth of UFOs is about to come out, possibly in a big spectacular way, and there's nothing they can do to, whatever the situation is, there's nothing they can do to stop it. Like maybe ET's on their way for a visit, and the government knows that they can't do anything about it, so they better start trickle-truthing now, so that when ET does come knocking, nobody's surprised and everybody's ready for it. So that's what I suspect as the most likely reason behind it. But again, we'll be looking into all of that. We'll be looking into all of that on Friday, as well as ideally looking at some of the other videos and proofs that have come out around the same time. But yeah, I've only got 3 to go. Nice. Timing's about perfect. Lisa's going live tonight doing her doing her Baldur's Gate game with Don Michelle. That's been a total, oh my God, that has been such a, I don't want to use the word burnout, but it's been, I know Don's been fairly open about, I don't want to use the word burnout because I wasn't part of the conversation, but Don's been fairly vocal about needing a break, to do other things, to just, decompress. Yeah, they had to agree to the release of info because so many have filmed visits and such. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, the interesting thing is that when other people have tried to, so people have literally been arrested because the government was concerned about whether or not they were going to release national security information. They've, whistleblower laws do not protect you from accusations of treason or espionage, right? So it's like, they could have just told this guy, no, national security, you say that, and we have to arrest you, and they didn't, which is really weird. How do I feel about boyfriend? I don't know. Okay. I don't like Asterion. Asterian's not my cup of tea. As much as Claire, as a character, he's as a rogue, he's super playable as a character. He gets really strong. and he can lockpick anything. I don't get the excitement over Boyfriend. Boyfriend is the character Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know why there would have been more coverage if the government had continued to deny it. Yeah, I don't know. We're definitely going to get into that. We're definitely going to get into that on Friday. Astarion, I keep ending up with him in my party because he's got lockpicking. So he can break into almost anything. But I think I'm playing right now. Right now I'm playing like a Dark Urge run where I'm like embracing evilness, and every character is like potentially evil in some way. I don't get why I do not get why the girly types out there are super. Oh, it must be the accent. Yeah, I don't get why Lisa and Dawn and some of y'all other girly types up there are super excited about the Astarion character, because it's like, well, the accent and the whatever, but oh yeah, hi Cass. I don't get it. But then again, don't forget, like, I mean, I'm Butch. I am way too in touch with my masculine side to be excited by that type of a personality, so it makes sense. When I did my run, I romanced Lae'zel because I romanced Lae'zel because I noticed in a lookup that she was the easiest to romance. But by the time the story winds up, she's like a lot softer. All the edges are gone. But yeah, I don't know. I think on some levels I get it. On some levels I get why the Astarion character is like one of the most popular. So I do get it. I do get it, but yeah, I get it intellectually. It's like, oh, Astarion this, Astarion that, and it's like, he's good at lockpicking and sneak attacks, but I do have him in my party right now. But I'm not romancing anybody on this run because I'm doing a Dark Urge run where basically you're evil. You're embracing all your evil stuff, and apparently it's so far it's pretty dark. I'm like, well, wait a second, that's a little vicious, but yeah, I like Karlach though. Mind you, then again, Karlach is basically a big dumb jock, so that's fun. But no, I don't know. I don't get the Astarion romance arc, but Dawn and Lisa are loving it. I live with my brother who refuses to let me play his Baldur's Gate 3. Well, that makes no sense because you can have your own save file. You have as many save files as you want in that game. It's a fun game. I'm liking it. We just did a thing. You can download stuff. You can download add-ons for your game. So the first game, I just finished it like last week, and I put like 250 hours into it. It's like, oh my god, I'm spending way too much time on this game. This game, I downloaded it's called a costume pack or something. Anyway, it comes with really high-end weapons and armor, so you can just like beat the crap out of everything and work your way through the game. So now I'm just going through for all the stuff that I like, but I'm not streaming my game at all. I'm not worried about that. I usually play I'm usually playing after midnight when I can't sleep. But no, Shadowheart. I think one of them is romancing Shadowheart this game, but Shadowheart's character. Yeah, I don't know. They've made all of the characters because you can be evil, you can be good or evil in the game. So even of your own accord, you don't have to do a Dark Urge run or anything special. You can make good choices, bad choices. So all of the characters can kind of support that one way or the other. I just think it's a fun game. I try not to think too much about it and just relax and enjoy the storyline. So yeah, Lisa and Dawn are playing tonight. It's 4:00 now. I've only been live for 2 hours. I'm going to get these last two done and then I got to go. Because I can't be on. I said, well, he reckons it will be too hard for me to play, and I'll just end up getting him to play it for me. I do suck at gaming. You know what, though? There are so many things you can look up online. You can look up exactly what to do and how to do it online. And the one thing I will say that I like about Baldur's Gate 3 is that it's not a shoot 'em up. So you don't make something happens, you make a decision, but there is a learning curve to get started. There is a learning curve to get started. When we downloaded the game Christmas Day, because John mentioned it, and then he sat with us for like, God, almost 3 hours getting us through the basics to get started. So if you're not familiar with this type of gaming, it does have a bit of a learning curve. But, well, I don't know. I like it. I'm liking it. Oh, yeah. Isn't he cute? And little dragonflies up in the corner. The last one, oh, the hedgehogs are last. But, yeah, I don't know. John played it for a while and then got bored. And basically, he played it while it was in, it's 9 a.m. in Australia. Oh, wow. I always forget what time it is here. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. here. So Lisa's live. Lisa and Dawn go live at 6 on Tuesdays. So still got plenty of time, but I want to make sure dinner's done and she's fed before she starts. I think I haven't decided what we're having yet. I might do pierogies tonight. I am so specific when it comes to pierogies that I won't eat them unless I'm cooking up some onion and some bacon to go. Onion, bacon, pierogies on a fry pan. I will only really eat them the one way. I'm so spoiled. But they're quick. Yeah, if you're used to more of the Diablo game type, then there is a learning curve. But if you have a controller, there's a lot of aspects of this game that you can play with a regular PlayStation style controller, which gets you started a lot faster. I did my first game almost entirely on a controller. This game I'm using the computer controls, but I like the game. I downloaded some stuff that makes me way stronger. I'm in an area. I'm running through an area right now that my last game I had to be like level 8 to get into, and I'm running through this and I'm only level 4. It's like I'm like, why isn't this happening? It's like, oh, I'm only level 4. I have to wait. It's like if I play tonight, I'm probably going because I'm so overpowered, right? I'm so overpowered that I can just be, fights that are supposed to take you like 20 minutes to fight. I'm like, okay, you get a turn, and he's dead. It's like, it's great. I've got a paladin right now. I restarted with a paladin. But I've also, Dark Urge, which is, you get to choose what pierogies. Pierogies are, a pierogi is a circle of dough, like pasta dough almost. Not quite pasta dough, but it's a circle of dough with potato in it, potato and a little bit of something else. So we're doing bacon and potato pierogi. Potato with a little bit of bacon, fold it over. You cook those up, and you can boil them, fry them, bake them, do whatever you want. And I'm gonna cook those up, and I'm gonna cook an onion and some bacon, and then put the pierogies in, put the lid on, let it simmer for a few minutes till the pierogies are done, and that's going to be dinner. Pierogies are actually pretty quick and easy. They're a German dish. Not because we're German, just because they're really easy around here. Yeah, paladin is fun. Paladin is fun because they take a lot of damage. They're a knight, right? But yeah. I'm not 100% sure if we're doing pierogies tonight. We did. We still have leftovers from the other day that we did intentionally. So now we're having, yeah, kind of like a potato ravioli. Yeah. That's kind of what a pierogi is. The dough for a pierogi is a little thicker than a ravioli, a little, and it depends on how you're making them, right? But yeah, think of a ravioli with potato as a filling instead of meat, and then you just serve it with whatever you want. A lot of people, and you can just take them and boil them like a ravioli. Yeah, it's kind of like a ravioli, but the dough is heartier. And you can bake them, you can boil them. I like to do bacon and onion. I don't cook them in a lot of bacon grease. I cook up my bacon and onion, pour off a bunch of the grease, and then just toss them in, throw the lid on, and then fry them. I like to fry them in bacon and onion. A lot of people just boil them and serve them on the side. Yeah, pierogies are good. Starchitarian. Oh yeah, because it's like there's this. Yeah, it's just a little carb pocket. It's a little pocket of carbs. Yeah, imagine ravioli stuffed with potato instead of meat or anything else that's not carbs. But they're really good. They make an amazing side dish to almost anything. But yeah, I like them. I like pierogies, but I really only like them. Like I said, cook up some bacon and onion, toss them around a bit, get them and then just put the lid on, leave them until they thaw. Because you always do them from frozen. I always do them from frozen. I don't think I don't think there's anywhere to even buy fresh pierogies around here. So I've only ever had them from frozen. I just do them in a pan, simmer them until they're cooked, toss them a couple times to get a bit of browning on them with the bacon and onion, and then we eat. It's just an excuse to have bacon for dinner, really. That's only 4:06. Now that I'm aware of the time, I'm sewing a little faster. You notice that? Oh, are they Polish? I thought they were German. Well, honestly, now I'm thinking about it. I think you're right. I think they are Polish. They're really okay. You can get pierogi. Pierogies are very common in German cooking. So it's kind of like ravioli, though. Like ravioli is definitely Italian, but you find various types of it anywhere you go. I don't know. No, I don't know. They're probably Polish. I don't mind being wrong. Now I learned something. Now I have to remember. Honestly, this is pretty basic. I don't always sew this fast. This is pretty basic top stitching. So this is pretty basic top stitching, so it is what it is. But if you notice, the machine is going fast, but I'm not necessarily going forward all that fast. So once you get comfortable with top stitching and get comfortable with your aim, then it's a lot easier to go a lot faster. I wouldn't if I were straight stitching these borders down, I probably wouldn't be going this fast because I wouldn't want to. If you're doing something straight where you're going through super fast, unless that's all you're doing. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't always go that fast if I'm top stitching something and using a straight stitch, I definitely go a little slower just to make sure that I'm not fucking up the stitch. Mind you, I based at top speed though. What all you guys? Well, I guess for some of you guys it's still morning. What are you guys having for dinner tonight or lunch or? Now that I'm thinking about dinner, I'm like getting hungry. What's for dinner at your house? Virtuous, a big salad, yeah. Oh, Gail has to go head out to the grocery store. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, keeping me company, getting me through my day. It's always nice. It's always nice when you got somebody to chat to, even if you're not, even if I'm not showing up with an actual topic. It's always nice to just hang out. So this has been nice, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna finish this one. Smoked pork chops with noodles and peppers. Oh, I don't like my kitchen. I wish I had a kitchen I liked, because then I would definitely be doing a lot more cooking than I do. My son has a nice kitchen. He said, you can come on over and cook anytime you want, you know. There's the hedgehog. Have to give, there it is. Last one. Risotto. I don't like risotto. Oh, I do not know why. There's something about risotto I just don't like. Lisa loves it though. Lisa loves risotto. I like pork chops. Well, I'm having pork. I'm having bacon, so I'm getting part way there. By the way, all I'm doing here is when I was basting all of this, because I do the vroom, 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 going full. Yeah, it's a texture. There's something about it. Yeah, something about the texture of risotto just doesn't work for me. I've been popping these stitches and not mentioning it, but when you're basting, it's vroom, vroom, vroom. You go through really, really fast. So a couple of times I've noticed that the hole was a little too small. And if you try to force your fabric, when you're turning this, if the hole is too small and you try to force it, you can end up stretching the fabric out of shape, and then it's a bitch to sew down. My next live for sure. Basically, I come on live every Friday, and we pick a topic and talk. We pick a topic, and I'm just chatting. Then I'm not sewing at the same time. Every Friday, I come on at 2:00 my time, so 2 hours ago my time. Well, that's 7 a.m. your time. But every Friday, I come on at 2 p.m. my time, and we talk about whatever topic we've agreed on, paranormal type stuff or UFOs or whatever. That's the guaranteed time. Any other time, it depends on when I have time. I'm probably going to try and schedule the sewing machine for FAFOing us. We're gonna wreck a sewing machine. I'm probably going to schedule that one at least a few days in advance. But yeah, Fridays are the day that you can kind of be sure of. There we go. Friday is the day that we can sort of kind of be sure on. Everything else is as I have time and I end up being available. Or multitasking, yeah. I'll tell you, multitasking can be really hard depending on what you're doing. I can multitask with this just because I do it so much. If I'm doing something a little bit more involved, I can't multitask. Oh, and I've got a couple of actual 7 p.m. I'm always said, if I became wealthy, I'd hire a personal chef. Every day I'd pick a dish from any cookbook, so chef will cook, bake it for me and family. Oh my God, that'd be so much fun. You know what I would hire? I like doing my own cooking. I would hire the cleaner because I hate cleaning up after myself. I'm not a messy cook or anything like that, but it's like, you know, well, some people do enjoy doing the dishes, but yeah, I've got two other FAFO projects that I need to work on. There is this lovely little bag. I don't know how to describe it. I'll call it a bag because I'm not really sure. If you ever watch those like traveling, if you ever watch those shows where people go, the YouTube channels where people go around to different areas trying out different foods and stuff like that. Well, there is. I'm not sure if it's generally available in Asia or if it's just certain areas. I keep seeing these little bags. They're sometimes they're plastic and sometimes they're recycled paper or whatever, and you take a drink. You take like a McDonald's type drink in the disposable cup, and you drop the cup in, and then you can pick it up and just carry it like a handle. I do not like if I'm like, we have a McDonald's right within walking distance. I do not like carrying a tray, even going from the car into the house. I don't like carrying a tray. They're awkward. I've got the dogs, and I'm always concerned I'm going to spill them, even with a tray. So I'm seeing these carriers that you can use to carry restaurant soft drinks, and I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find a how-to, or I'm just gonna FAFO and make myself one and see how it works. Because it would be really nice if we had some sort of a carrier system where I could just drop in. Like I said, we go out, we do our running around, we grab a soft drink while we're out, or McDrive-through, whatever, depending on what's going on, right? I would just love to be able to have a carrier to pop it into that's not going to be as awkward as all the other options that don't work. Cup bags, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know I needed it until I saw one, and it's like, I need that. I've got two specific ideas in mind. One, if it works, will be the one idea that I'm going to try, if it works, will be super simple, and anybody can make one. As long as you have an iron, you don't even need to sew. That could be a thing. And then another design that I saw, I keep spotting these on these videos, and I'm like slowing it down. Click, click. Oh, is that what it looks like? Yeah. Wait, who's a cute older guy? Which guy? Yeah, but I've seen a bunch of these. I've seen a bunch of these guys. The only time, and like I said, I don't know if it's Asia specific or not, but the only time I've seen these things all over the place, like the only time I see a video where it's like common, where it seems to be common, is when I'm watching videos that are made in Asia, in various Asian countries. And even then, I don't know if it's specific. I don't know if it's specific to one or two particular countries, or if it's just a common generic Asian thing that we just don't do. Some show called Someone Feed Phil. Oh my God, that sounds hilarious. But yeah, I keep seeing these things, and it's like I keep wanting them. Because even just, we go out, we do our thing, we get a couple of things. So we're each carrying a bag. Then we have to get the dogs out of the car. Then we have to get our drinks, and then we have to figure out how we're going to open the door, keep the dogs under control, come upstairs. It gets awkward. It gets really awkward really fast, and something simple like that would save my life. Someone Feed Phil. Is that on TV, or is that like a YouTube thing? I don't have cable, so I don't see stuff. I don't see cable shows anymore. Don't miss it. Haven't had cable in my God. Yeah. I've always wondered why they don't put takeaway cups in cardboard carriers that have handles. Well, I'm hoping I've got, now that this is done, I might, you know what? Lisa is filming all night. I'm probably going to switch over. Well, I am going to switch over. I just don't know how much I'm going to try and get done. These are done. This is the last one. So the reading cloths are done. Now I need to trim. When you do a tarot bag, you have to sew the pretty sides together to get your base, to get your starter. Then you have to trim it, flip it. Oh, it's a Netflix show. I have Netflix. You got to trim it, flip it. Then you start sewing it. Even if I do nothing but trim and flip, I can get a bunch of stuff done on the other bags. That's the priority right now. Stuff for the shop. That kind of has to be. You have to pick, right? But if I can get if I can get those bags done by tomorrow, that's Wednesday, then I might be able to come back. I definitely want to experiment with doing videos later. I can, because Lisa, as long as Lisa's not doing filming of her own or her own live, then I can come in and just do whatever I want. And we can go from there. But I want to, I'm debating the Fafo sewing machine, our little Fafo sewing machine episode. I'm wondering if it's going to be better to do it on the weekday or the weekend. But I'll probably just do it like next. Well, I don't know. I'm doing the thing. Here's the thing: when you don't operate on a schedule, you do the think aloud thing, going, "What should I do next? What should I do next?" Okay, these are done. Look at that, all done. You guys helped me get a ton of work done today. Where is it? It's over there. Ugh. You guys helped me get a ton of work done. These are all done. I just got to give them a quick blast with the iron, and they're done. These ones were easy. I went ahead. Those were easy. These ones here, I mark all of this stuff with a friction pen, right? I mark all this stuff with a friction pen. So I've got the friction pen lines, but what I have discovered, the way that making a bag like this works, once it's all done, I just leave it folded inside out and then iron, and I get a nice crisp bag. And this is heat erasable, so just blasting it with the iron takes it right off. But yeah, so these are done. You guys were awesome. I did these. I got, there's 2 of each. Do. There they all are. That's all of them. So quick blast with the iron, and then these are ready for the shop. And then this, I have to, basically I just have to trim off the excess all the way around, and then flip it. If I do nothing else tonight, I'm at least going to trim and flip all this. Oh my God, I'm like, why is my shoulder getting sore after cutting, after using the rotary cutter? Why is my shoulder getting sore? Because I realized I haven't changed my blades since, remember, yeah, since before I had COVID. So since January, I haven't changed my blades literally in months. The interesting thing about a rotary blade is even when the blade is dull, it will still cut your fabric. You just have to work a lot harder. So I've got fresh blades in. I should just be able to get all this done. Fresh blades are easier to cut yourself on, but that's its own thing. Oh, you guys have been excellent company during my busy work afternoon. Thanks so much. Well, you know what? You guys were excellent company for me to get me this can get boring. This can get really boring. Usually I'll just crank my tunes, but it's like this. There are certain things in life where a little bit of distraction is really good for you. So having a little bit of distraction, something to keep me entertained and amused and whatever while I got my shit done, absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna get going though. It's almost 4:30 now. So I'm going to go cook some pierogies, get started, check in with Lisa, see if she's actually coming home on time, and get all that going. And then I'm going to be the peanut gallery for Lisa's Dawn's live stream. It's on her channel. Dawn Michelle too. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm sure all of you guys have spotted it in the wild sometime. Tiny frogs with the hedgehogs. Let me see. I thought you are right. You are correct. There are tiny frogs with the hedgehogs. I wasn't really paying attention. Okay. So there's that. One. Why is there a bunny missing? There he is. This is what happens when you start double checking. These are completely. What happened? Okay, I don't remember doing that. Oh, it's because I was shifting things around. Okay, I am going to get going. I have got things to do, and I've got lots of time to get them done. So if I continue to FAFO, I will find out that I don't have time, and then it's going to be a hectic mess, and I won't be happy. So I'm going to get going now. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Friday for sure. and whenever wherever I have the time, and keep an eye out for I will make sure that there's a few days warning on the Fafo, the Brother sewing machine, so that anybody who's interested can make sure they catch that one. Otherwise, I will see you when I see you, and I'll see you soon. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that, Terry. Okay, I will talk. By the way, I do take reserves if it matters to anybody. If you ever see something that gets you super excited, let me know. I'll reserve it for you. I just throw up a quick listing that says reserved for, and then you grab it when you grab it, and no rush, no pressure. Anyway, I will do that. And otherwise, I'm going to get back to planning and executing some dinner, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.